Hi everyone. I am Anubha Sood. I direct the Total Care program here at the O'Donnell Brain Institute at UT Southwestern Medical Center. And I see there's some new people and some old people. Welcome all to our 2025-26 educational series. We do a lot of stuff here for our patients and care partners and families that access care at UT Southwestern, but it's a program that's open to the community. So if you haven't already, please do visit our Total Care webpage and sign up to receive information about all the stuff that we do here in the program. So now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Hilary Byatt. I'm sure a few of you already know her. She is the Chief Operating Officer at Parkinson Voice Project, which is a stellar organization, and we are very pleased and happy to have her here with us. She is going to speak to us about the Speak Out Therapy Program. And I'm gonna, have her talk more about the program, but I just wanted to introduce the Parkinson Voice Project a little bit for you all as well. Since 2008, Parkinson Voice Project has been funded by grateful patients, families, and generous community partners. They do not bill Medicare or insurance, and patients do not receive a bill. Parkinson Voice Project has provided training in their Speak Out Therapy program to thousands of speech language pathologists and graduate students. And, they're right now replicating its sort of no charge online speech therapy program across America. And they already have about 28 centers in which they are working. So, welcome, Hilary. Excited to have you here.
Thank you, Nuva. I'm so excited to be here. This is an honor to get to speak with y'all. So thank you for joining us and being here today. So you can ask questions. Janice, are they usually held until the end or in the middle if we need them? What's best?
Absolutely,
Okay,
however you'd like to interact
perfect.
with
Oh
your
yeah,
audience.
yes. Y'all, if y'all
So
have questions, please ask
speak
away.
out.
Yeah, exactly, Janice. Thank you. Right on cue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with y'all. There we go. So, if intent, here it comes. Hold on. Hold on. It's coming. One more second. Thank you for your patience. There we go. So, if intent is the answer, you might be wondering, well, what is the question? Well, the question and what we're going to talk about here today is how do we compensate for that lack of dopamine in Parkinson's, in speech and swallowing, but also in all areas? That's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to look to the right occasionally as my screen is over there. So here is my opening statement, is that people with Parkinson's have more control over their movements than they might think. I don't know if you've heard that before, if you find that provocative or compelling, but my goal is to help you understand how come I think that's absolutely true. Managing symptoms with Parkinson's is the goal. And so being able to understand how you can do that, I'm going to help you with that. So let's move on. So when someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's, on average, they have already lost 60 to 80% of their dopamine. Now, why does that matter? Why is dopamine important? Well, dopamine is that neurotransmitter, and it is responsible for the planning of automatic and execution movements. Let me just say that again. Dopamine is responsible for the planning and execution of automatic movements. There we go. And you might be wondering, well, like, what are automatic movements? So it's things that we do every day without even thinking about them. Speaking, swallowing, managing our own saliva, walking, swinging our arms. With Parkinson's and that lack of dopamine, these things become more challenging. So let's kind of explain how dopamine works. So our neurons don't touch, they're floating together. Dopamine is that neurotransmitter that fills in the synaptic gap. Remember that from 7th grade when we had to learn? So if I walk outside and my neighbor Sam is there and I want to say hi to Sam, I think that, and my mouth and my hand instantly allow me to say, hi, Sam. Now, if I have Parkinson's, that movement of thought to direct me to say hello and to wave, it has to pass through my brain to the area that I want to impact. So with those neurons not having enough dopamine, the movement of the message from neuron to neuron is likely discoordinated. It's not smooth. And so by the time it reaches my mouth or my hand, he's gone back inside and I've missed the opportunity. That's how dopamine can show up in real life activities. So now with that depletion of dopamine, how is that impacting all other areas? Well, you can imagine then everything that you want to do automatically doesn't go smooth and coordinated. But yes, I want to hurry up and get to the good news because there is good news. And let me tell you about it. That good news is intent. As humans, we are beautifully and wonderfully made. We have two operating systems in our brain. The first one here on the left, we call it colloquially the automatic motor system. It is responsible for the things we do automatically, just the example I was given before. And if you look at the pathway of the neurons in that one, if you look at the green lines coming down, they have a lot of stops and turns and stops and turns. We like to explain that kind of like a country road. So if you're heading down to Austin, let's say from Fort Worth, and you go the back way, you're going to hit Llano and a lot of cute towns, and you're going to come to a stop and turn and come to a stop. That's how neurons pass on the automatic motor system. It is highly dependent upon dopamine. So for folks with Parkinson's, their automatic movements are not smooth and coordinated because that dopamine is not filling in and making it work how it should. Good news, I keep promising. The other one. So on the right hand side, the intentional motor system, we call it, it is powered by less dopamine. It's not as reliant upon it. And if you look at the pathways, they go straight down. So it's kind of like going to Austin on 35. Have y'all ever hopped on that tollway in right around Austin? I think you can go 85. It's a little scary, but it's like that. It's going straight down. So on the intentional motor system side, it is not affected by a lack of dopamine. That is the good news, that all of us have access to the intentional motor system. So let's talk more about that. I'm going to show you an example of some folks.
Tell me your full name.
There we go. This is George. George has been in the Speak Out therapy program for a long time, and he has gone through Speak Out therapy. So I want to show you his progress, and I want thumbs up to make sure you can hear him.
Name.
George Holloway Candler.
You've now completed the voice treatment. Do you notice a change in your voice or speech?
I don't choke eating a hamburger from time to time. Make sure I'm doing my exercises as
nearly daily as possible. It may be only 5 days a week, but I do it as nearly daily as possible. And that is extremely important.
My full name is George Holloway Candler.
Tell me how you maintain the strength of your voice. What's your routine?
Physical exercise and voice exercise are essential because people for many years have gone, "What, you have Parkinson's?" And I can say, "Yes, I do." But it is crucial that you do this regularly. And I know if I slide, I start choking. My standard has been a certain burger or biscuit that I have. And when I start to choke on that, I know, whoops, got to get back in and do this thoroughly.
So you can start to see a difference pretty quickly if you stop for how many days?
3 days.
Again, how long?
3 days.
3 days. So if you don't do your speak out exercises for 3 days, you can start to tell it.
I then need to watch out for the biscuit. I can speak, you can hear me, and this is why.
So that is George, and I see him almost every week. We have singers who practice here every Wednesday. I have another one who is here too, and he is a real person who has Parkinson's and has gone through speak out therapy. So I like to show him right here to give you an idea of the power of speak out. But if we go on, hold on. Let's go back to this. I'm going to hold this slide. Okay, perfect. So talking about automatic movement and intent, you've all had experience using intent. For example, if I'm leaving here from the clinic and I'm heading home one day, it's a beautiful day. The sky is blue and I am heading home. I'm thinking about, I'm having friends over that evening and I have to stop by the grocery store and pick up a few things. And I'm thinking about that and I'm thinking, oh, is my house tidy enough? Did I leave it clean? I hope so. And the next thing you know, I pull into my driveway and I did not stop at the grocery store. Has that ever happened to anyone? Maybe. Okay. Thank you, Nuba. Yes, thank you, Janice. And so what was happening is that I was driving on automatic. Be afraid for me. You should. I know it happens sometimes, but our brain craves automation. Things that it feels comfortable doing for me, it's going to do and allows me to think and solve all the problems of the world. That's what's happening. But change that. I leave here at 5 o'clock and I walk out and the sky is turning black. It's purple. It's a Texas storm rolling in, and we know that hail is coming. So I turn off the radio, I put my hands on 10 and 2, and I drive home with intent. So this is a way that I'm showing you I can do the same behavior, one automatically and the other with intent. So all of us have access to that motor system. We just have to learn how to use it, and we're going to talk about how to use it for speech. Now, if it was as easy as I can do an evaluation of a patient and tell them how to speak out with intent and they got it, walked away, they wouldn't need to come back and see me. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as that, but we have plans, and so I just want y'all to understand them. Parkinson's is tricky. Let me say that again. Parkinson's is tricky. If it was as easy as that, it'd be so awesome. However, what happens with Parkinson's is there are two major challenges that makes a lot of things more challenging, and it is essential. If you're a person with Parkinson's or a care partner or a healthcare provider, you must understand these two concepts to be able to successfully navigate your Parkinson's journey so that you can live well. The first one is challenge number one. There is a sensory deficit with people with Parkinson's. The internal feedback loop is compromised. So what do I mean by that? This is my example. Almost every speech therapy, speak out therapy evaluation I do with a new patient, the patient will tell me, I don't need this. I'm doing fine. It's my wife, it's my husband's hearing. If there's any chuckling out there, I see you. When I tell you it's a real thing, it is a real thing. And you may not have known that, but Parkinson's affects how people with Parkinson's hear themselves. They don't hear it. It's not the same. So the analogy too of boiling a frog, that frog is not noticing the water is getting warmer. So what happens often with Parkinson's is that the person is not aware that their voice is getting softer. Not aware at all. People are telling them, yeah, I'm not hearing you as well. But without that feedback, the person with Parkinson's is not believing them. And then what happens, Parkinson's makes all movement smaller. So as that person is not speaking as fully as they used to. Speech takes 3 systems to work. So we have our respiration, and we're breathing in. And then we have our phonation, where the air passes through our vocal folds and makes sounds. Finally, that air hits our articulators. So think your mouth, your tongue, your jaw, your teeth, and your palate at the top of your mouth. So all of those are affected. And if you think back to, if you've ever heard about speech therapy with kiddos, sometimes there's S problems or there are problems. And what happens is their tongue, their teeth are not in the right position. So with Parkinson's, it's something similar in that the tongue is not going as far as it used to. And so it might sound a little slurry. They're not breathing normally as much air as required because that happens automatically. I don't have to think about how much air I need when I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking in kind of long sentences. My brain anticipates how much air I will need before I speak. Amazing. Until it's not happening automatically. And then that breathing gets kind of discoordinated. And if I'm not recognizing how I'm sounding, my voice is getting softer and softer. So all these things are happening and the muscles are getting weaker. Nothing is wrong with the muscles. Parkinson's is not making the muscles not work. It's simply making movement smaller, and with less movement, those muscles atrophy. My daughter broke her ankle about a year ago. We were on a great trip to Colorado, and she had an unfortunate, stepped in a crack kind of thing, broke her ankle. When she, after surgery and the cast, and she got that out, her whole leg was visibly smaller, right? So that leg was not being used as much. It atrophied. Same thing, these muscles get weaker and they're not being used because of that. So helping them understand, people with Parkinson's, that their voice is getting softer is something that we do in the evaluation. We always record a sample, and it's often eye-opening. Patients are not aware how they sounded. And the part to me that's always so tragic is that people with Parkinson's often feel like they're being ignored, that people are just talking over them. They're not allowing them to enter conversation because when they start to speak, they're not hearing them. So that is a tragedy that we are avoiding around here. We want everyone's voice to be heard. Now, the second major challenge with Parkinson's is that lack of dopamine we talked about, which impacts the planning and the execution of automatic movements. It also affects motivation, and it turns into apathy. You've heard that word before, but it is actually a technical term, apathy. And apathy happens a lot in people with Parkinson's. It can happen behaviorally where you're not motivated to do something that you know you should do. So you may have gone through physical therapy. Physical therapist said you need to do some big exercises every day for 20 minutes. You intellectually can understand that, but you can't make yourself do it. So here's the part that you need to hear from me really, really quickly. People with Parkinson's are not lazy. I need to say that again. People with Parkinson's are not lazy. It is that lack of dopamine often that's creating apathy. Now, apathy can also be masked through depression, sleep problems. So you always want to share all of your symptoms with your neurologist. I always recommend having a notepad handy. When something happens and you're not sure if that's Parkinson's or not, you write it down. Because as I say, Parkinson's is tricky, and at your appointments with your neurologist, there's a lot your neurologist wants to cover with you, and you need to have your information to share with him or her. So being aware that apathy is a thing, I hope it helps you understand that maybe this is why you are not doing some things that you know you should do. We treat that as well. So if you have a habit established to complete your speak out therapy exercises, you're going to do it whether you feel like it or not. That's the key. Habits are a great way to compensate for that apathy, because what we know is that if we're waiting for the feelings, like I'm going to start practicing as soon as I feel like it, we know often that's not going to happen. And so feelings follow behaviors. So doing the behavior, and for us doing the speak out therapy daily exercises, that's where the feelings come afterwards, like, yay me, I did that. I didn't feel like doing it, but it was scheduled, so I did it. That is the power of habit and breaking through that. And we work that out through our speak out therapy program. I want to show you our circle of intent and kind of walk you through how it looks. We start with an intake form. It's very short, 3 pages. And speech pathologists are autonomous, so we do not have to have a physician's order, but I always want one because I want your neurologist to know that you're going through speak out. But the whole process, we can start you really quickly. And we are here in Richardson, and 90% of our treatments are done just like this on Zoom. During COVID, we worried about our people with Parkinson's. Used to be everyone came here to the clinic weekly, and so that changed. Samantha, our founder, closed the clinic in March of 2020. We thought it would be, that quick 2-week thing, but she closed it on a Thursday, and on the Friday, she had the first speak out therapy home practice session via Zoom, thinking it would be just a holdover until we were back in the clinic. Guess what? It never stopped. We recently celebrated our 5th year of doing them. So these speak out home practice sessions are available for everyone. I will show you how to access them. But it really showed us that it is another way to make daily practice be accessible, educational, and dare I say, a little fun. So if you look at our circle of intent, you start at the top with an evaluation. A certified speak out provider is a speech language pathologist who has gone through our speak out certification course. They will do an evaluation to assess the person with Parkinson's speech. Are we having the normal symptoms? Is the speech softer Is it mumbled? Is it trailing off? Is it sometimes good in the morning, but then weak in the afternoon? Is it gravelly? Is there a hoarseness to it? Is it breathy? Is it really fast or is it really slow? So we're doing an assessment. Most importantly, we're also asking the person with Parkinson's and their care partner. The care partner is present for every session. It is essential for the best outcome. And we want to know from both of them, what is the primary complaint for your speech or your voice? What's happening? And then we are getting a history with swallowing and making sure if there's problems in that area that we're aware. We know that people with Parkinson's may have problems with swallowing. We also know that by doing speech therapy and strengthening the muscles, we are strengthening the swallowing muscles and pushing away a swallowing problem as well. So we want to know what that history is. And then we're assessing and seeing if the person is stimulable to speak with intent. Most of the time, everyone is. So in the evaluation then, if you're a good candidate, we will start scheduling you for individual speak out therapy. Before that, we are going to mail a speak out booklet to you. It is a booklet that will guide you through your home practice during speak out and beyond. We also are going to give you access to our e-library. It is an amazing wealth of great material to keep practicing with your speak out therapy, a fun interactive event. We train children, let's say, who live in other states, adult children or grandchildren, to practice with their person with Parkinson's via Zoom using materials in our e-library. We just released a new material and it's our joke book. Patients submitted jokes and it is so much fun. If we have time, I'm going to show you that. And so then we also have Everyone Watch. And this is for families, for friends of people with Parkinson's, and it's open to everyone. So I'm going to show it to all y'all. But it is a What is Parkinson's video. Our founder and CEO, Samantha Ellen Derry, has an amazing way of making complicated information understandable, accessible, and actionable. So she does a great job of breaking down more about what is Parkinson's, why speech and swallowing is affected, and how speak out therapy helps. This is all on our website without charge. So then the person will start individual speak out therapy. It's typically done twice a week for 4 weeks for 30-minute sessions. We pause for 4 weeks and then we come back for that final 9th session. We're making sure the voice is as strong as it was on that 8th session, which is when the patient typically graduates. We're making sure their speak out therapy group, which I'm going to mention in just a moment, is working well for them still. And we're making sure that they're practicing every day. If more sessions are indicated after that 9th follow-up, we'll just schedule them. That is the beauty of not billing insurance. We don't have to ask for permission. We can do what's clinically appropriate. There's no charge for any of this. We're able to treat patients exactly how they need to be treated. So once they have been graduated and discharged through individual therapy, you'll see that yellow area is the Speak Out Therapy group. We have 23 Speak Out groups that happen here every week. They're all virtual, so just like this, you're on Zoom. They range in size and they're led by a certified Speak Out provider. We do a quick mini Speak Out warm-up, and then we're practicing reading, and really the most important part of it is to practice conversation, speaking with intent. So the camaraderie from other Speak Out graduates is amazing. I've also heard patients tell me they feel an accountability aspect of the group, because if they're showing up, they know they are going to be needing to use their best voice and to speak with intent, and this is the crowd that's going to help them do it. And it's also educational, and again, just like our home practice sessions, it's a little bit fun. So then the group happens forever and ever, amen. We're here with our patients for the long haul. Now, sometimes you start in a group on Tuesday at 3 o'clock and then something changes and you need to have a different time. That's fine. We accommodate that. After that, about every 6 to 12 months, you are scheduled for a speak out refresher. Think like checkup at the cardiologist or the dentist. We are making sure your voice is as strong as it was at graduation. And again, at that point, if we decide some extra individual sessions would help, then we'll just schedule it. If you've lost your booklet, we're going to get you another one. We are going to keep you on track. And then it goes round and around. If you'll see the outer circle, that is the daily speak out home practice. Daily practice is the most important thing that you'll do. You heard George say that if he doesn't practice for 3 days, he can feel a change that affects his swallowing. That shows him, oh, these exercises are important and they work. You need to keep them strong to protect your swallowing as well and to keep speaking with intent. I want you to hear a story now about us a little bit more.
There's so much incredible work done by nonprofit organizations right on our doorstep. Let's take a look.
Approximately 10 million people worldwide are living with Parkinson's disease. 90% are at risk of losing the ability to speak and swallow. This is a major concern for patients and their families. Since Parkinson's is progressive in nature, many people mistakenly believe that speech therapy won't help. But today, you are going to see that nothing could be further from the truth, thanks to a nonprofit that has developed a unique and highly effective speech treatment for Parkinson's.
Parkinson's affects the speech and swallowing of most people with Parkinson's. The symptoms that they notice can be different. Some people notice a hoarse-sounding voice. Some people notice that their volume has gotten significantly softer, so they're having to constantly repeat themselves. There's an estimated 10 million people living with Parkinson's in the world. 90% of them will struggle with speech and swallowing.
Parkinson Voice Project's Speak Out Therapy program is unlike any other Parkinson's treatment.
Parkinson Voice Project's mission is to help people with Parkinson's regain and retain their speech and their swallowing. It is very important that people with Parkinson's and their families understand the difference between the automatic motor system and the intentional motor system. The automatic system is responsible for anything we do without conscious effort. Talking, swallowing, walking, getting out of a chair, those are all examples of automatic movements. But automatic movements are highly dependent on dopamine. And people with Parkinson's, by the time they have any symptoms of the disease, they've already lost about 60 to 80% of their dopamine producing cells. So their automatic motor system does not work very well. But humans have a backup system, the intentional motor system, which is not as dependent on dopamine. And that's why when people with Parkinson's speak with intent, when they swallow with intent, when they concentrate, when they focus, when they're deliberate, their speech and their swallowing improves. Parkinson Voice Project is the only nonprofit organization in the world solely dedicated to helping people with Parkinson's regain and retain their speech and their swallowing.
Parkinson Voice Project is replicating its program across the U.S. and abroad as quickly as it can.
At Parkinson Voice Project's headquarters, we treat patients who live in Texas, but we want people with Parkinson's everywhere to have access to our Speak Out Therapy program. So we are training speech-language pathologists and graduate students all over the world. We want everyone to have access to the treatment.
The difference in a patient's speech with Speak Out Therapy is truly incredible.
George Holloway Candler.
I'm George Candler, Parkinson Voice Project. It has been amazing. It has been wonderful. My voice volume is fine. My voice control is good. My speed's not quite as good, but compared to what it was 17 years ago, I sounded like a tape on slow motion. And now my speed is pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Before I had the therapy for Parkinson's voice, I did not realize I had a problem. And after my first session, I realized, oh boy, I sure do. The difference Parkinson Voice Project has made in my life is beyond measure. Not only helped me get my voice back, it brought me together with people that are amazing and inspirational, and they've given me a purpose.
We can help you with your speech and your swallowing. We know exactly how to treat these disorders, and I hope that everybody with Parkinson's will call us and visit the website so they can find a provider near them.
To learn more about Parkinson Voice Project, visit their website at parkinsonvoiceproject.org or view this segment again on thebalancingact.com.
Okay, so that was an overview about us, a little bit more. I want to keep talking about intent because I bet you're already thinking that intent can help in many other areas besides in your speech and swallowing, and it can. So I want you to think about waking up in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning and you jump out of bed, that's probably not how you do it. If you're applying intent, you're going to wake up, you're going to sit up, you're going to make sure that your head's not swimming and that you feel good. You're going to put your feet on the ground and just jump up. Probably not. Your feet are on the ground. If you're on the floor versus the carpet, do you have on sticky socks so that when you stand up, your feet are not slipping? If you put on those sticky socks, you are standing up with intent. You see how this works? If you sit there and just stand up right away, you may not have yourself settled, and that might put you at risk for a fall, versus standing up with intent. Then walk with me mentally to the restroom. Do you have to avoid a pile of clothes outside the bathroom door that you didn't get handled before you went to bed? Or did you move them to the side with intent and you're able to walk straight into the bathroom? When you approach the sink and you want to splash some water in your face, do you have to avoid the rug in there because the edge pulls up a little bit? Or with intent, have you either taped it down or removed it altogether? As you walk down the hall to head to the kitchen to get that cup of coffee, do you walk in the dark and hope you don't bump into the dog? Or do you flip the switch and walk with intent with the light on because you can see well? When you get in the kitchen and you make your coffee, are you doing several things at the counter at the same time? Or are you planning to do each part of the coffee making with intent? And then as you sit down at the table, that's often a great time for folks to practice their speak out therapy exercises. So creating a habit to include in your normal day-to-day is a way to get that habit happening. So that's thinking about intent and doing things on purpose. For example, if I'm walking down the street, eating an ice cream cone and chatting with my friend, I'm doing 3 things at the same time. With Parkinson's, that gets challenging. And so it's important, if you're walking somewhere, I'm going to bet that walking is the most important part. And you might need to think about your step length. You might need to think about keeping your hands on a walker in the right position or swinging your hands with intent. And so if you're talking at the same time, that might divert your attention. So walking with intent is something you can do to improve your mobility, paying attention to how you're doing it. Intent is that. It's paying attention. It's being mindful. It's being aware. It's thinking about it. Next thing I want to show you, and I'm going to show you this on our website too, we have a step-by-step plan for living with intent. So our patients and advocates are Parkinson Voice advocates. I like to say are Speak Out graduates who are super volunteers. They help us get the good news out about Parkinson Voice Project and Speak Out therapy. They contributed tips on how to live well with Parkinson's in many different areas. The topics are on the right-hand side. I'm going to show you an example, but again, all of this you can access on our website. As a speech-language pathologist who also works with cognition, I'm really interested in that keep your mind sharp topic. So let's flip there and I'm going to show you. There are strategies of things you can do to help keep your mind working very well. And so in the plan, you go through each one and assess. Is this something I'm already doing well with intent? If so, yay you. Or is it an area that you can apply a little more intent? You can be a little more purposeful and have this occur. So, for example, read aloud each day for 5 minutes. Doesn't sound like long, but for our Speak Out therapy, reading with intent is a great exercise. And it really is exercise. You're getting those muscles stronger. You're also paying attention to how you're saying every single word, so you say it with intent. So reading is a great way to strengthen the muscles and increase awareness of using intent. There's also cognitive activities you can do with your family and friends. One example is naming items in categories. So this is something you could do in the afternoon. You could have your care partner say, okay, pick a topic and let's go back and forth as many times as we can until we stop. So one of my favorite ones is ice cream flavors. One of my favorite ice cream flavors is brown butter, toffee fudge. It is so good, y'all. But if someone else wants to unmute and tell me their favorite ice cream flavor, press that space bar. Let me hear it. Anuba, what is your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate all the way.
There we go. I bet you have a few fans in that area. Anybody else want to tell me their favorite ice cream flavor?
Black
Kate,
Forest.
Say that again.
Chocolate Black Forest with the cherries.
Oh, yes, please. That sounds fabulous. So you can see how you can go round and round and then change the topic and say, okay, tools. Let's think as many tools as we can. This is not something that you normally do, but it's an exercise for your brain and you practice saying them with intent. Card games, board games, where you have to call out items, pieces, saying them with intent. Crossword puzzles and Scrabbles are effective if you say the words out loud. That's what we're looking for with that. And then our booklet has extra activities you can do. So we also have an educational series that has other lectures from over the years that have been curated. The one mentioned here is a neuropsychological testing and cognitive challenge in Parkinson's. It's fabulous. I will show you that too. So our daily exercises, you can practice. Sarah is one of our certified speak out providers. The online sessions are live Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock. They're about 20 minutes long. You show up, get your exercises done, and get on with your day. They are also recorded. So if that time doesn't work for you, they are always there recorded. And we have many of them stacked up so that you can keep seeing other opportunities of other ones you can practice with. That is my overview, and just for a second now, I want to take y'all to our website. I want to show you what it looks like, and so should you go there, you'll have a head start on how to navigate it. And then if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Let me pull this up. There we go. So this is our homepage, and you can start up here under education and training, and the What is Parkinson's video I mentioned is right here. That lecture series is right here. We also have a new Parkinson's Family Education group that meets monthly. Our thinking is that care partners are empowered through education. So we seek to talk about areas of Parkinson's. We just had it this week, and I talked about mild cognitive impairment and specifically about processing speed and attention, as those are areas that sometimes people with Parkinson's experience, and we want to make sure they're aware of them and they have tips to manage around them. We also have a blog up here that has education, but scroll down here and you'll see that What is Parkinson's video. You can jump on it right here, or the Speak Out Home Practice. You can click on that and you will see it's always a countdown to the next one. We just had it before we started, but all of these are stacked up. You can click on any one of them. If you're interested in fishing, first cars, Sarah did one on the number 0. I know it sounds weird, but it was very cool. You might enjoy that one. So all of this is available for you. And if you're interested in getting started with us, you can just give us a phone call. We are here to help you.
Thank you so much, Hilary. This was excellent. We'll open up to questions. If anyone has any questions or comments or thoughts, we would love to hear those as well.
Good job.
Thank you, Miss
Hi,
Judy.
Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
Hi, David.
It's great seeing you. Well, and our website on that care partner group, again, is available for everyone. We're also having an event here virtually on October the 9th that will be highlighted on the website. Ray Dorsey is a doctor, an MBA, who has co-authored a new book called The Parkinson's Plan, and we are featuring him as a speaker on a Zoom call. So we will have that, and Anuba, I will shoot you those details because we're going to have a registration link. It's going to be from 2 until 3 virtually, just like this. He has 25 tips on how to live well with Parkinson's. It's an amazing resource. So that's something I think y'all might enjoy as well.
Yeah, we would love to pass it on.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Hilary, I wanted to understand a little bit about your schedule that's actually in person, for people who may choose to go to your clinic.
Yes.
If you could tell us a little bit about how that's organized.
Sure. So we do some visits in person. We are not opposed to it. What's really important is making sure that we can help you navigate the Zoom part of it for your Speak Out Therapy group, because those are always online and we want you to stay active with that. Well, and we also on Wednesdays here, one of our groups is actually a singing group, and we call them the Intentional Singers. They meet here every Wednesday from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock. We have a certified Speak Out provider, Brittany, primarily, who warms up the group to have their best voice. And then Marty has been our choir director for more than a decade. And she doesn't care if you have a background in singing or not. She wants you to come, and we teach folks how to sing with intent. And even if you don't read music, if you're like me, we have lyrics written in a way that you will understand how to hold notes, how to go fast or slow, and it's a wonderful way to sing with intent even if you don't sing. And then we have choirs about every quarter, performances of our choir, and those are open to the public. We have family and friends who attend, and we have a band who performs with them. They are amazing. Our next one is going to be Wednesday, September 17th. So it's a great time to go through Speak Out Therapy, and then you can join the singer starting after the next concert so that you can be a part of our holiday concert.
Well, that's excellent. I've been to your space in Richardson, and it's such a joyful, delightful space as well. And the virtual sessions, of course, are just so excellent. Thank you so much, Hilary. This was really helpful. This recording will be on our website, so you can go access it on the Total Care webpage as well. Starting in it takes us about 4 weeks to get our videos uploaded, but you'll have those available as well. Also, I just wanted to mention that we have our movement disorder specialists joining us in the coming months, starting on September 12th. One of our new neurologists, who's just joined the practice, is going to visit with you all and, have a great presentation about side effects of Parkinson's disease medications. And then October 10th, we have, one of our providers. So we have an entire series that is available for you to look up on our webpage and our event series page. And we, of course, keep sending a lot of information out as well, periodically over email, through constant contact. So all of that will be ongoing. And we love to hear from you. And we love to pass it on to, our partners and, our mentors in many ways, like the Parkinson Voice Project. So, if you want to ask a question, but write it in email, do send it to us, and I will make sure that Hilary sees it. So write to us. Call us. We love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that anybody may want to add or before we end?
I'm going to say one thing, but y'all interrupt me if someone else wants to say it, is that we are in the business of giving hope. I want y'all to know that. In the Parkinson's community, you don't often hear that, but we can help. We can help you restore your voice, and we're in the business of hope. So it's really wonderful. Thank y'all so much.
Love that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Wonderful to see everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.